living in an era with cheap tools. Never throw anything away. I don't care what breaks. I ground down a T30 and put it in a 1/4 inch insert that was meant for like a T20 or something had laying around. I was able to get in there and pull the bolts out of the cam bridge without having to undo the... So far I've not had to drain the coolant, and I will not have to drain the coolant to do this job. I do have to relieve the tensioner on the chain. Right now the cam bridge is still sitting on the stubs of the cams. Our perfect seal is breached. Now we come up. I'll have more of this stuff out of the way when we come back in with it. Alright guys, we've got the old cam out. Well, the new cam, the one that we just pulled out of the engine. Again, up against the original cam that came with the original motor. We're likely just going to use this one. There's nothing wrong with it. Wanted to use the one that came with the cylinder head, but at this point I really don't think it matters. I was going to press that gear off and press it back on the right orientation, but the more I'm capable of doing that, but you really want to put one of these on a bench center and mic everything and get it exactly where it needs to go, and I don't have that type of equipment on offhand anymore, so I'm just going to use a good known cam. No harm there. So again, just to get you a better idea what's going on, this is the injured cam. This is a good cam that's going back in the motor. You can see where the timing marks are compared to where the lobes rest on, let's say, this is number 1. Then of course we go back to this cam as we saw in the motor, pull that out, and we see where the cams are. To where they're supposed to be. So that's why the engine was building too much compression. Pretty much the valves were all the way closed. It was building a ton of pressure in the cylinder, and that pressure had nowhere to go because the timing was so off, because this cam had slipped in the gear, or the sprocket rather. So again, we're just going to use a known good one. So we have another little unfortunate circumstance. You can barely see. This is just raised a little bit. I can feel a little raise mark there. So what are we looking at? We're looking at this is the intake cam. This is the end of the cam where it rides on the bridge. You have your actuator that threads in there, reverse threads. Jeez. See that little shiny piece of metal in there? Don't know where that came from, but here I am preaching about making sure everything's clean, clean, clean. Yeah, I thought it was. So, you know, one of those things. So, what we're dealing with is something was either in here, something was in this old valve. This is the old valve. Oops, sorry. So this is the old valve in bridge off the old motor. You can see it's a little chewed up on that side. The other side's not that happy from the cam doing its thing. These were the old parts off the old motor that lost oil pressure. As you saw in here, obviously we picked up a little bit of metal from somewhere, who knows? It could have been in an oil galley in the cylinder head, because if you guys remember the awesome quality of this eBay cylinder head, even though I completely stripped it down and I used probably 5 or 6 cans of brake clean with the little hose attachment and spraying in every orifice and cleaning out the galleys, and I thought I had everything. Maybe I missed a little bit. This is kind of the problem on a budget build. Not that we half-assed anything, guys, but it's just that little bit of metal kind of screwed up this cam, because it got caught in probably one of these holes, or it was in the valve, and it rubbed, it kind of screwed this stub up. So luckily, used intake cam, about $100, even though this is already a used intake cam that came with the head. But I'll say it again, we're kind of just victims of internet parts. Now who's responsible? I'm the one that completely tore it down, cleaned everything, and put it back together. If there's any foreign debris somewhere obviously I'm to blame for that. One of the most important aspects of engine building is cleanliness. But my argument is, I thought it was clean and and I didn't guess. There's no guesswork in this kind of thing. It's just I did clean everything, but obviously one little piece of metal, wherever it was, because these cams are hollow. Well, here, these cams are hollow up to pretty much like right here. So I mean, you know, it's like, okay, there might have been a little piece of metal in there from the used cam that we got off eBay. I remember cleaning everything, but I kind of maybe now I don't remember cleaning. So we kind of dodged, you know, the cam sprocket turning was us dodging a bullet. This completely separate issue. This kind of upgraded us to getting grazed by that bullet, you know. So we're still good. We're still moving forward. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I think we'll be between about $300 and $350 to get this car back on the road at this point, aside from tires and brakes, and that's going to be future videos. So the intake cam, the bridge, the actuator, all the miscellaneous seals and gaskets. I don't really have a list made up to put on the screen. I broke this tang off this intake pipe, being stupid, just wasn't paying attention. I had over tightened a bolt, imagine that, and there was a rubber grommet, so when I was torquing on it, I don't know, it broke. So these are like $20 on eBay. More money we got to spend, but it's a Saturday afternoon here in Texas. It's like 30 degrees out. It's chilly. It's windy. So I'm just kind of relaxing today. I can't do much now without parts, as you just saw. Just do a little bit. I'll be doing a little bit of cleaning work here and there this weekend and throughout the week while I'm waiting on my parts to show up. I did notice I had a couple more subscribers over the holidays. That's awesome, guys. I mean, I don't want to be that guy that's always like, oh, like, share, and subscribe. But we all know that. That's how it works. You're never going to hear that out of my voice, out of my mouth again, I promise. But, you know, I appreciate everybody that is doing that, and it's been sticking around as long as they have. This video is nice and short compared to my last one. So, you know, this is something I'm to blame for it, I guess. not feigning responsibility, but it's just one tiny little piece of metal, guys. I mean, and that's not just exclusive to this motor, these cars. I mean, that could have happened in a small block. It's, you get metal between a bearing surface. I mean, geez. But yeah, there's no telling. I don't know where it came from. I don't know. Again, it's kind of good that that happened the way it did. We had to tear the cams out because of the sprocket spinning on the cam. But this is something we found when we went back into the motor after we had been cranking on it, and it ran very briefly. So, you know, hey, it's something we caught before it got worse. The damage may have been as worse as it had been, but that's a hydraulic actuator, and I don't know. I don't know how that would have affected the advancing and retarding of the cam on the intake side. So we're just going to play it safe, put a little bit more money into this thing. I mean, the money we've saved so far, the savings we can put into finally getting this thing done, because let's hope, fingers crossed, that this is the last incident we have with this motor, because it's not even running yet. We're already having to replace parts. So I know. So, you know, that these are the types of problems you can run into. As far as the physical long block, the only thing we've reused was the block. Everything else was outsourced from used parts. I believe I'm sticking to the cylinder head we got off of eBay, had some crud somewhere in a galley, even though I cleaned everything. Obviously, I didn't clean it enough. That might have been in the bridge, the cam bridge. We did reuse that off the old motor. I remember cleaning everything, but sometimes there's just little orifices and turns and angles and other ports that you don't know about, you can't really see. And obviously, it came from somewhere. So, but that's how quick things can go south, guys. When you're dealing with, we bought a car with unknown condition other than it wasn't running. We completely tore it down. We got parts from all over the country shipped in to put it back together. We did our best to dismantle, inspect, and reassemble. But, you know, that's why most dealers don't like doing this type of work. Nobody likes doing this type of work, because this is the kind of work you're supposed to do yourself. An independent shop or a dealership's not going to be all about buying used parts off the internet to help you save money. Nobody's interested in doing that. This is a do-it-yourself channel, and you can see how fun and rewarding it's been so far. So, but that's why I'm doing it, and you're not, so y'all can laugh at my ass. But at this point, guys, when it's said and done, I will be just more than happy to just break even on this. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not sugarcoating anything. But hey, that's why I'm doing it, for entertainment, you know, I guess. But even without doing the YouTube thing, I'd still be sitting in here cussing and kicking this thing, because things keep going wrong. Well, imagine that. We're trying to save money by gambling on used parts that we're assuming are okay, and even inspecting them. But as you can see, it's not going as planned. I mean, I kind of feel like we should have just got the reman stuff, or the reverse engineered stuff from China. At this point, I mean, geez, I could have got all brand new. I could have got a cylinder head, cams, chest, a few other things, all brand new, for just a little bit more than what I paid for used stuff. But in hindsight, I guess I kind of wish I just bought the aftermarket stuff now. I don't know. But that's the gamble you take. We decided to go left instead of going right. I mean, that's the direction, that's the repair direction we went in. But I still advocate using the used original components versus reverse engineered aftermarket parts. But I guess right now it's still about 50-50. But again, I'm trying to keep this short. I don't want to keep rambling on like I did on my last video. But I hope y'all take from this, and I hope I can motivate someone else to pick something up. You know, whether you think you're going to make money off it or not, I mean, just pick up a cheap little car and start tearing it apart just for fun. You know, try to get more power out of it, strap an eBay turbo to it, just have fun with it. I wouldn't jump into one of these things right away, or do. You're going to regret it, but So this car does not define my channel. I know all you've seen so far is this thing, a small tour of my shop, garage, and the wall project. So this just happens to be what we're stuck working on at the moment. I do have a second project car I'm dying to start working on. I'm still planning this year, 2022, to build my new shop in the backyard. So we may have another hiatus, but I'm gonna definitely get, once this is done and gone, I'll definitely wheel my second project car in here and do everything we can. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate everybody that's helped me out on this build so far, even when I was picking my brain when we had that incident. Everyone who helped me during that time, I appreciate it. But have a good one. January 15th, 2022. It's also snowing in Texas again.